Oh, Jack? We don't have a daily word reader. Do you want me to ask Becky? Becky. Good morning. And welcome to Unity of Palmyra, where I promise the air conditioning will be working next week. Yepper, Dr. Pepper. So next week we will be cool. We will be chillin' here in the sanctuary. So, that's right. So, let's start again. Welcome to Unity of Palmyra, where centered in love, we embrace a positive path for spiritual living. We are an open and affirming congregation. We love you exactly as you are in all of your magnificent glory. And we are so happy that you are here with us this morning. This is going to be a fun and a little bit unique service this morning. We're going to practice lightening up as part of our happiness project, and I'm going to set an amazing example for you later on in the service, I'm just saying. So, prayer chaplain, start praying now for your minister who's going to be stretching way outside of her comfort zone this morning. So now that you're all intrigued, let's take a nice big deep breath and center ourselves. Oh, so wherever you are right now, whether you are sitting in our sanctuary or watching us online or listening to the service as you travel from point A to point B, I invite you to become fully present, to give yourself that gift of coming apart for a while. Coming apart to remember the sweetness of who we are. That we are spiritual beings having an incredibly human experience. We come together to remember that both of those states of being are equally amazing. We are both spirit, divine, and incredibly human. And we celebrate both. We honor both. And so right now we allow ourselves to swim in spirit, to let go of what was and what will be, and be perfectly present right now. And as always, we enter into this experience with gratitude as we say thank you for this time, this precious time. Thank you for whatever safe space you are in right now. And most especially, thank you for one another. And so it is. Amen. So let's stand and shine our light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the world, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, right back to that tent revival with Grandma. I love it. All right, let's share together in our vision. Centered in love, we embrace a positive path for spiritual living. And our mission, wherever we go, especially at Pride yesterday, we provide a welcoming community that inspires and encourages all who gather here through the teaching, sharing, and practice of universal spiritual principles. And one of the ways we practice those principles is to honor wherever you are in your hugging journey. So if you would like a hug, we will bring it on in. If you're more comfortable with the handshake, just extend your hand and we will honor that. And if you want us to leave you completely alone, trust me, we understand. And we will honor whatever bubble you create around yourself. Have a great time.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. That was festive. That was very festive.
All righty then. Our prayer chaplains for today are Dan Christopher and Helen Baker, and they are both in the sanctuary today. They'll be holding sacred space for us during our service, and they will also be available over in this nice quiet corner after the service for anyone wanting one-on-one prayer. A huge thank you to everyone who participated in Pride yesterday. If you were at the Hershey Pride, would you please stand? Thank you. It was awesome. We had a great time passing out pencils. I think we passed out about 600, didn't we? I told people walking by that it was a Pride rule that they had to take a pencil, and you know, everybody believed it and took a pencil. So, hey, I can make up stuff with the best of them, man. Alrighty, so a couple of dates. The Christmas in July, the first Christmas class starts this Thursday. It's actually a Thursday morning, so if you're off for the summer or if you have some flexibility in your work schedule, please do join us. It's in person and Zoom, so you can Zoom in or you can drive over and enjoy the class with us. The first Christmas is a book by Marcus Borg and John Dominic Crossan, and it's all about the Christmas stories and what powerful metaphors they are. We are having a coffee house on July 8th with Shoot the Moon. So we were telling folks about it yesterday. We had all of our flyers. You know, we had Spirit Camp, and we had Source of Light, and we had the coffee house, and we had the Christmas class, and we were telling people that the last coffee house was standing room only, so we had to tear out some walls for our music team. They were very impressed. I said, we will do anything for our music team. So we're very, very excited about that. If you were not here last week, please do go downstairs and check out the new and improved kitchen. We are very excited that we now have a functional kitchen, and Donna is very excited that she never has to wash another mug again. Because we do have a dishwasher now in our kitchen. So, any other announcements? Let's see. No Sunday school in July and no Spirit Sisters in July, right? Okay, I thought those were the last two. They will both resume in August. All righty, great. Miss Becky, would you please read the daily word, which is so perfect for today?
Good morning. Good morning. The word for today is joy. I am blessed with indwelling joy. In John's Gospel, Jesus praised his disciples, and all who receive their message will experience for themselves the joy he knows. I share in Jesus' joy as I remember I am a living expression of the divine, created in God's image and likeness, just as Jesus was. My ability to express love, life, wisdom, and all other qualities of God is limited only by my willingness to live from my spiritual nature. I am one with God and one in the allness of God with all people everywhere. The joy Jesus described remains with me no matter what is happening around me. I know wholeness in the midst of illness, abundance amid the appearance of lack, and even sadness in the aftermath of loss cannot overtake my joy. And from John 15:11, I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete.
I am home, my family is here. I feel loved by the ones I hold so dear. And when my family needs me, I promise to be there. And when I need my family, I'm lifted up in prayer.
So this is the time of our service where we consciously enter into an attitude of prayer. So right now we're going to pray for a quick and easy air conditioning repair. There we go. It is done. We see it and we claim it. So let's take a nice big deep breath and sink down deep into the depths of our very being, where we know that all is well. And so we shift our mindset into that truth. And we begin by thinking cool thoughts. Calm, cool thoughts. Regardless of the turbulence in the world, we sink beneath the waves into the depths where there is calm and peace, where there is clarity and certainty. where we know that despite appearances, all is well. And we extend that beyond our community today. We extend that beyond our walls. As we look back over a week of national upset and international upset and declarations and threats and marches, and we sink below all of it. We recognize the fear. We recognize the old beliefs. We recognize the need to be in control and the fear that drives that. And so we surround all of these situations with a lightness, with love, with compassion, with clarity, and with the courage to tell the truth. If there is anyone within the sound of my voice who is experiencing personal upset, we surround you with the love and the compassion of this community. Where you are feeling weak, we share our strength. Where you are feeling fear, we share our courage. Where you are feeling uncertain, we share our clarity. For that is the power of community. If you are experiencing joy or gratitude right now in this moment, we invite you to share it with us. For during this time, we remember that when our trials are shared, they are divided, and when our joy is shared, it is multiplied. And as always, we remember, together or apart, we are always connected at the heart. Namaste.
The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. You are beautiful. You are whole. You are beautiful. You are whole. Life will drive you up the wall, so lighten up. You'll never understand it all, so lighten up. If you think about it too much, you may never get out of bed. So please fully ignore it instead. The planet isn't here to stay, so lighten up. The caps are melting anyway, so lighten up. It's too late to repair it, so why not grin and bear of worry wart. So lighten up. Don't listen to those glum reports. Just lighten up. So what if it's all ending? Why waste the time we're spending? We'd better lighten up. Lighten up. Lighten up. Don't worry about the gloom and doom advancing. We're all going down. Wouldn't you rather go down dancing? The world's too full of worry wart. So lighten up. Don't listen to those glum reports. Just lighten up. So what if it's all ending? Why waste the time we're spending being so high strung? Let your fears be flung. Well, everybody's gonna die, so lighten up. Life is brief, and that is why you should lighten up. Calm the threats, cool your jets, screw your doubt. Chill out, untighten, unfrighten. Don't let your panic heighten. Just lighten, lighten up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You? Right. I just want you to know that this nose is really annoying, and it's going to come off pretty quickly. This is 100% polyester.
Oh, Lord.
So, you know, do I love you guys or what? I'm just saying. Okay, woo! That's done. All righty, there we go. So, today's topic is lighten up. In the book, Gretchen focused on parenting. And as a parent and a grandparent, I actually loved this chapter because she really helped us to lighten up around the whole, you got to be a perfect mother or a perfect father or a perfect anything, right? And so she focused on things like happy memories and singing in the morning and dancing, and you're going to have some fun with your homework for the week on your practices. But what I wanted to talk about today was a little bit broader and just the whole... as we lighten up in our marriage. I think that would be and talk about what it means to just lighten up in our lives. We talk a lot in Unity about enlightenment and being enlightened, and I think I've shared with you my personal definition of enlightenment is to be willing to lighten up and to wake up to what we are making up, right? To wake up to our filters and to what we make life mean, to what we make our thoughts mean, to what we make our experiences mean and our relationships mean. And Gretchen was the first person that introduced me to G.K. Chesterton's quote, "It's easy to be hard, it's hard to be light." And when I shared that with Ken years ago, he says, "Honey, in the theater we say, dying is easy, comedy is hard." Right? I can attest to that because I'm not going to tell a joke today because I am the worst joke teller ever. Luckily, I live with one of the best. So I thought what we could look at today is what do we hold on to that makes us heavy? What gets in the way of us holding things lightly? All right? So might perfectionism be one of those things, right? That we get so focused on being perfect that we go through our life pretending. That creates heaviness. What about our need to be right? Does anybody like being right? Right? Here's where we say, well, how does being right create heaviness? Well, when we're so focused on being right, what's the result of that with the people who share our journey? They're wrong, right? That creates a heaviness in our lives. What about when we're attached to the way things used to be or the way things we think should be? Heaviness, as opposed to holding it lightly, as opposed to being willing to evolve and change. You know, one of the big shifts that I saw yesterday at Pride is it's the first Pride I've been to in years where there were no protesters. It was awesome. It was awesome. There were also, we weren't the only church there, which was also awesome, right? And there was one guy passing out some pamphlets, and the organizers talked to him, and I can't read lips, but I think basically the thing was, be cool, right? Don't get in people's faces. And I didn't see him after that. So it was a huge shift from years ago when we needed physical protection at the Pride Festival. So what about our opinions? Everybody's got one, yeah. There's a second part to that, which I'm not going to share. Not going to share the second part. Yes, not from here. We'll talk about it at fellowship. But don't we love our opinions? Don't we believe everything we think? Right? How about if we stop doing that? How about if we become willing to acknowledge that other people might have worthwhile ideas or opinions too? Because when we cling so tightly to what we believe, it creates heaviness. And what about our suffering and our struggle? How attached do we get to our suffering, right? And our struggle? How often do we let our suffering define us? Oh, what would I be without my suffering? You might be joy, right? There's a kind of a universal belief that suffering is the one constant that connects us all, that we all experience. I'd like to think there are more. I'd like to think that love unites us all and that joy unites us all. I'd like to think that when we work together to make a difference in the world, that unites us all. Right? Notice the shift in the energy. So are we willing to lighten up? Are we willing to hold life, bless you, more lightly? There's an old Jewish belief that when you sneeze, it's because you just heard truth. We're not going to say it's the allergies, Bridget. We're going to say that that's what it was. See what I did there? I just kind of made that whole thing. Right? So are we willing to hold life more lightly? Are we willing to be happy? Now, you'd think that that would be an obvious yes, except if you look at our lives, you have to wonder about that sometimes. Because we seem so attached to what makes us miserable. As if somehow being miserable pays the rent for life. Like if I suffer enough, then I'm worthy. If I suffer enough, I deserve to be here, right? What about if we're happy enough? So one of the things I love about Gretchen's copious research, and we talked about this at the very first week of this series, is that contrary to what people might believe, happier people are more productive, more compassionate, more caring, more likely to help someone else. Why? Because happier people tend to be a lot less self-centered than unhappy people, right? They tend to be thinking about other people. So holding life lightly doesn't mean, and I'm not moving like I usually do because I tripped on these several times walking out, so if you're wondering why I'm not pacing like I normally do, it's because if I'm going to do a fall, I want it to be on purpose, not because I'm tripping. So, does holding life lightly mean we don't care? No. Holding life lightly means we actually get to care more. Because we're not getting all bent out of shape about every little thing. It's like my friend Maria used to say, are we willing to be curious about that which offends us? And if we're regularly offended, that's a lot of curiosity. Right? Right?
What are you looking at me for?
It was just because you laughed. Hold it lightly. Hold it lightly. Yeah. One of the best examples that I ever heard of this was from my old acupressurist, Nikki, who's amazing. And she said she went to school out in California for acupressure. And she said one of the final tests was that they were in a room, they were in an aviary, and there were birds. And you had to be so centered that a bird would come and rest on your finger. How awesome is that? Because I used to say to her, this was before my coaching training where we kind of learned the same thing. I used to say to her, aren't you exhausted from doing this all day? And she said, no, because I'm meeting you where you are. I'm not forcing anything, although sometimes it felt like it. She said, I'm meeting you where you are, just like the bird rested on the finger, right? So that's what it means to hold things lightly. It doesn't mean that we don't care. Of course we care. Contrary to the very funny words of the song, we do care about the planet, right? But one of the big truths from that song is we're all going to die, right? Get over it, guys. None of us get out of here alive. So how do we want to live? Do we want to live heavy? Or do we want to live light? I found this great quote by Rumi, and it's one of the ones that really made me think. So I'm not going to editorialize on it, I'm just going to share it, but it seemed to apply to today, where he said, mysteries are not to be solved. The eye goes blind when it only wants to see why. Right? Wow, that was deep, right? Well, and it reminded me again of something Maria used to say, is what if understanding is the booby prize? What if we spend so much time and energy trying to understand something instead of just showing up in the world, right? Just showing up lightly, being who we are. So I have to say, what would Jesus do? Because you all know I love Jesus. So in the Sermon on the Mount, and this is one of the teachings that the Jesus scholars actually believe were the words of Jesus, so this was not something somebody made up about him after he died. But in Matthew, during the Sermon on the Mount, he told us five times, that would have been 10, 5 times not to worry. He said, do not worry about your life. Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to your life? Why do you worry about clothes? Well, clearly, I don't. Do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? Do not worry about tomorrow. Worry is such an interesting use of our imagination, isn't it? Remember back to enlightenment? We wake up to what we're making up. When we are just obsessed with worry, with the absolute worst case scenario, we are using our imagination to create in our minds the worst thing that could happen. And that creates heaviness. So is what we're making up creating light and joy, or heaviness and suffering? What are we making up? So I love the movie, the play Godspell. And I remembered after I ordered this and questioning my sanity, I remembered that in Godspell, Jesus and his followers during the play turn into clowns. And I became curious. And I thought, I wonder why the writer made that choice. And so I consulted the great guru in the sky, Google, and I found a great piece by a theater. And they quoted a piece by an author named Scott Miller, and he'd written an article called Inside Godspell. And I thought this was fascinating. He says, John Michael Tebelek wrote Godspell in order to give people a way into religion in general and the teachings of Christ specifically. The physical production must work toward that end as well, through the sets, costume, staging, and acting style. The show's original concept was based on Harvey Cox's 1969 Feast of Fools, which argued that for religion to once again reach the people, it had to reclaim its festivity and fantasy. What do you think? Right? Much of organized religion had become so somber and so serious that the joy had gone out of it. From this concept, Tebelek seized upon the idea of using clowns to recapture that lost feeling of celebration and revelry. The cast put on clown makeup and wild, colorful costumes after being drawn together by Jesus. This concept was based not only on Cox's work, but also on the joy and freedom of the youth movement of the 1960s and early 70s. The cast, as ordinary people becoming clowns, illustrated a dramatic change, a very visible kind of conversion. Isn't that an interesting take on conversion? It's becoming joy. Jesus said, I have not come to break the law, but to fulfill it. He pushed against all the rules. He broke the rules all the time. One of the biggest ones was when he healed on the Sabbath. No. And he said, man was not made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man. The Sabbath was a gift. And look what we did with it. We just turned it into more rules and have-tos and should-haves and reasons for guilt and shame and punishment. It was meant for joy. It was meant for rest. It was meant for remembering who we are. And that was at the heart of all of his very subversive teachings, reclaiming our joy. So I picked the jester for the kind of the archetype for today's talk because as I was thinking about all of this and this, I thought it reminded me of the role that the jester played in the king's court. And I remembered one of them, and then Ken reminded me of another one. But the one I remembered was the jester was always close to the king. And one of the reasons the jester was always close to the king was so he just didn't get too full of himself. The jester would whisper in the king's ear, "Thou art but human." But the other role that I forgot was the jester was the only member of the king's court who was allowed to tell the truth without fear of reprisal or punishment. The jester was allowed to tell the truth. And so how did the jester do that? By dressing up in costume, by comedy, by satire, by holding it lightly so that the king and the court could hear it. It was brilliant. So, do you need to dress up in a clown costume to lighten up? Yeah. For those of you listening online, Ken just said, yeah. Okay, but what is the answer to that? No. Thank you. But it doesn't hurt, right? I think it's a great way to demonstrate the importance of telling the truth, making a difference, doing the right thing, getting into good trouble, while we are holding it lightly. It's about the energy we bring to it. Years ago, Marianne Williamson, I remember hearing her one time saying, angry people cannot create a peaceful planet. And she got a lot of flack for that, because they were like, well, we should be angry, right? We should, And she said, yes, 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 yes. Feel the anger. Feel the energy. Notice the injustice. Do something about it, but do something about it from that place of love. Not from being angry, not from making someone else wrong, not from tearing down, but from building up. From holding it lightly, holding ourselves lightly, holding our journeys lightly. Not worrying about tomorrow. Being willing to tell the truth about what is weighing us down, so we can make the difference that we came here to make. It's very hard to make a difference when you're constantly weighed down. We want to lighten up so that we can be a blessing to the world. Amen? Okay, this is the last time you will see me in this costume. I'm just saying. Oh, God. Janie, help. Let's prepare for meditation.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and all we are and all we do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and all I am and all I do is a blessing to the world.
So I invite you to take a nice, big, deep breath. Feel the breath moving through you as a river of gold, shining enlightening, glimmering and glowing as it nurtures every cell in your body. And as we continue to visualize that golden glow moving through us, we soften, we lighten, we relax, we feel the tension flow from our body. We feel our eyes relax, our jaw relax, our neck and our shoulders relax. And as we scan through our body, we notice any tension, any tightness. We breathe into it. We visualize the muscles loosening, softening, until our entire body reflects our innate light. Until our entire body becomes a demonstration of holding life lightly. We allow our body to show us whatever heaviness we are holding on to. Whatever heaviness is preventing us from showing up in our fullness, in our magnificence. Whatever heaviness is preventing us from being who we've come here to be, from doing what we've come here to do, from experiencing the happiness and the joy that is our birthright. And so today, in the name of being that blessing, we claim our joy. We hold ourselves, our lives, our journey lightly. And we claim the blessing that we are.
We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world, a true blessing to the world.
Thank you. Oh, So this is the time of our service where we thank you for your giving, for your generosity, for your support of the very important work of this community. We no longer pass the basket. We gave that up during COVID. If you want to make a paper donation, there's a little basket right there in front of Dan, or you can send it through the ethers. But whatever your gift, we are so incredibly grateful. As we saw at Pride yesterday, the work that we do here is so incredibly important, and we are very grateful for your support and allowing us to continue that work. We expect you to sing along with this one.
Yes, please. Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Somebody came and took your bed, but don't worry, be happy. The landlord say your rent is late. He may have to litigate, but don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Ain't got no style, ain't got no gal to make you smile, but don't worry, be happy. 'Cause when you worry your face will frown, and that will bring everybody down. But don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Song I wrote, I hope you learned it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In your life expect some trouble, 'cause when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now.
couple of reminders. Your handout for this week is up here, and it is Sing and Dance, Dare to be Foolish. I get to check that one off. Focus on happy memories, and relax and let go. So make sure you come up and get your handout for the week. And also do check out our happiness table is growing every week, the things that make us happy. And I am happy to report that it's nice and cool downstairs in Holy Grounds for coffee and cookies and fellowship. So if you want to cool off, come downstairs.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
The guy who wrote that song, Bobby McFerrin,
Yeah.
he was a young musician on the streets of New York, and he had all these instruments, and they all got stolen. And so he started playing his body.
Is that how that started? So don't worry, be happy. You know my favorite line in that song, life will bring you trouble, but when you worry, you make it double, right? There you go. Physical reality, guys. Sometimes there's trouble. Worry only makes it double, right? So don't. Is there? I was going to say, is there a dance groove to that? All right. Let's stand. And weren't the slides cute today? Jackie had so much fun with this week. In addition to. I also want to acknowledge all of the people that came in to put labels on, 1,800 Pride pencils. So we put some out here, so feel free to take a Pride pencil and your handout this morning. So, yes, lots of pencils. Together, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in each and every one of you. Yes, we do. Let's sing the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And wherever God is, all is well. Go forth, lighten up, dare to be foolish, have a wonderful week. I'm so gonna get you for that. And join us downstairs for coffee and cookies.
That was worth it. Did you see her jump?